ourselves up, but we short on breath. Talking about we eating, but who we really cooking. Dreaming about greens, but ain't nobody looking. No land, no acres, no seeds in the ground. When the hunger hits, who's gonna be around? We starving every day, and it just ain't the food. Feeding the hood garbage, got 'em acting a fool. We flossing with rides, stunting with chains, but these bars we spitting just bring more pain. We guilty as hell, preaching all these lies, selling debt to the kids, and we acting surprised. We commercialize the pain, broadcast the grief, tell the youth to hustle, but hide the beef. We glorify the trap, invite them to the flames, just like Reagan brought the crack on planes back in the 80s when the streets got soaked. My people, my brothers, all got choked. Reagan said no trades, but we know the deal. He left us in the dirt. Man, that shit was real. I was just a shorty watching it unfold, old enough to see how we got sold. War on drugs, but it was war on us. Cops on our necks, no love, no trust. They labeled us thugs, beast on the block, made us kiss the pavement while they cleaned our clock. Prison became business thanks to Reagan's game. Free labor is the truth in America's name. Slavery's dead, man. That's just a word. Read the 13th Amendment, it's still absurd. They lock us in cages, serving time for life. Double digits for wisdom, cutting sharp like a knife. I'm here to say, the chains in the air, it's time we break free, start showing we care. No more flexing for nothing, no more selling out. It's time to rise up, time to end. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And before we get this all started, you always know I start with music. And here we go with Don Tripp. Welcome down, and I'll be right back right after this.
Rise and shine, time to get this money, that's my type of time. I'm a rider, but if money calling, then it's time to drive. Always keep the sprayer just in case I gotta fight a fire. I ain't never ran in my life, bitch, I'm Michael Myers. Won't stop offering the truth till they run out of lies. Ain't a rap nigga on this planet that I idolize. Old rap niggas in they feelings, I won't slap them five. But I'm a giant, we ain't never gonna see eye to eye. All that beef shit get put to sleep, little nigga rock-a-bye. But if you get hit on accident, if I pocket down, raised by the Memphis City streets, I'm like a foster child. Better know I'm always locked in, like I lost a trial. Still on the road to riches, I'm not wealthy yet. If I'm not somewhere getting to a check, then do a wellness check. Tried to make my mama proud of me, I might have failed at that, but there's a silver lining, cause my sons ain't out here selling crack. Every time I leave my driveway, I'm trying to hurry back. The streets don't really love a living soul, they be setting traps. I am not concerned a little bit if I don't benefit, cause trust is just a 5-letter word and niggas illiterate. I'm about mine, you should get about yours. You was out here showing out, fucked around, got outscored. You lucky I got married, I had that bitch you love on all fours. Using every hole, now your lady like a golf course. Oh boy, let's resort to violence. I love nothing more than bloodshed. If you don't fuck with me, buddy, enough said. Fuck yeah, call your bros, we can hold court like it's Final Four. The doctor said my lungs was full of soot. I want all the smoke, rise and shine. Time to go get paid, set my alarm clock. And I've been out here chasing cheddar non-stop. They say you only get one shot, unless we talking about gunshots. And if you plan to take it down, then it's going down like Young Jock. Long live Piff. Long live Piff.
That was Don Tripp. Welcome down. And good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to start off with last week they had a report. It was an audit of Governor Tim Walz's administration and the programs that he runs and things like that. And they found that there was 12 non-compliance issues that they did find. And I want to start off with that. So here we go with the audit of Governor Tim Walz.
Legislative Auditor that there were 12 non-compliance issues found in their audit of Governor Tim Walz's office. This was a routine audit conducted every 4 years of government offices. I spoke to Auditor Lori Lyson this morning. Well, joining me right now is Lori Lyson, the Deputy Legislative Auditor. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. The investigation into the governors, that was a routine audit that you do every 4 years. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And some of the things they found, timesheets not accurate, receipts not managed, inaccurate late payments. I mean, that's not fraud. What is it?
Correct. So what we found is really kind of pervasive issues in financial operations. And what that means when you have kind of these pervasive issues in areas like receipts and expenditures, both non-payroll and payroll and inventory, is that you can create an opportunity for fraud. It's not something that we found. It's just that that opportunity can exist.
I see. So it sets the conditions where somebody could take advantage of it.
That is correct.
All right. And the governor said quite clearly that he welcomes this audit, that 11 of the 12 findings are already corrected. Is that something that you have seen?
Unfortunately, by the time that we completed our audit work and they reviewed our report, our draft report, we could not confirm that all findings were resolved. We were able to see some kind of indications that things were being addressed. For instance, if a policy had changed or if they had sent letters out to former employees to recoup money back to the state. However, once that audit is done, we don't go back until subsequent years, a year, 2, 3 later, to see if those findings have been resolved. So we can't say that for sure.
All right. Yeah, your office, your division does routine audits of branches of government. Upcoming, you've got pending audits on state overtime pay, the DNR, Outdoor Heritage Fund, and Minnesota IT Services. Can you tell me what the parameters of the investigation into state overtime is going to be? Because that's coming out this week. I know you can't tell me the results, but just what are you looking at exactly?
Sure. So every so often, we'll kind of come back to an audit topic, and one of those is statewide overtime. There's a lot of overtime use in state government. It's a large employer, and there's some agencies in particular that sometimes, some of our larger agencies just happen to have more overtime due to the nature of their work. So we have done an audit a number of years ago. So we're kind of following up with that audit just to see how things are in state government. And we're really looking at, again, kind of compliance with state policies and procedures to ensure that overtime is being paid correctly. And this also looks at shift bonuses as well. So sometimes there's bonuses that are paid to employees for working on field shifts. So we're going to look at both overtime and shift bonuses over several agencies.
I was talking with you earlier, and we talked about the investigation that your office did into COVID hero pay, where you found $200 million of COVID hero pay went to ineligible people. And one of the ways that you got to the bottom of that was because of email irregularities. Can you tell me about that? And also, you found that money was going to people who were deceased. Does that show up in other cases? I mean, is that something that's sort of a red flag that you see?
Sure. So in the financial audit division that I oversee, we're mainly looking at kind of those internal controls and compliance, right? So we're looking at areas that could be opportunities for fraud, could be opportunities for waste. So we're really trying to help the government identify that, right? Trying to help agencies do better. Sometimes when we do that work, we do see other things. So that frontline worker pay program, we did see some what we called fraud indicators. We didn't necessarily go far enough to confirm that there was fraud, but we look at large data sets. There was a couple of other vendors involved in that frontline worker pay. There was multiple agencies involved. So we're gathering kind of data sets from all of those entities. And then we're looking at that. We're looking at we're taking all that data, doing data analytics. We're looking for trends and patterns. And in that data set, that's where we saw the emails, and that's where we saw the deceased individuals. So that can come up in other audits that the Financial Audit Division performs. But more often than not, we're identifying areas of kind of weakness, areas that need to kind of be shored up.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing the results of the overtime pay investigation that comes out later this week. Thank you so much for your time.
That's crazy because I'll be honest, that's what I really wanted to get into today is looking at all the fraud that is on all these programs that are meant to help people and that are meant to be a crutch for people in need. And it seems to be like we just have fraud everywhere. So that is something that I want to get into today. But before we do that, I want to go into the story that was played last night, and dozens of cars were vandalized in the Lowry, of course, in the South Minneapolis area. But I want to show people what continues to happen. And we just had an election, and people aren't standing up. I see a lot of silence or a lot of I don't know what slaves, whatever you want to call it, but it's people that don't honestly want to help each other, don't want to help us. And I'm going to get into, I'm not saying that we got to go all the way red. I'm not saying that we have to go all the way Republican, because I'm for neither party. I'm a conservative, and I think that we need to work together as grassroots, as basic citizens, you know what I'm saying, getting into the game, getting involved, because that's what I really want to talk about today, is because everything is skyrocketing, but wages aren't. They're cutting certain things. They're making it harder for the small business to sit here and be efficient and to be successful. They're not allowing that. And it's our legislation. That's what our legislators, and they're making it hard. We literally have one party that has been in power they had a trifecta. And that's when a lot of things, when it came down to the budgets, when it came down to the omnibus bills, there was a lot of things that were rushed into there, and they voted on it. The Democrats did. And I will say this, is that the Republicans in Minnesota, I feel like didn't do anything. Besides coming out and being loud and being mouthpieces, in my eyes, I feel like the Republican Party kind of left out the small people, you know. And Jesus was a liberal progressive of his time, killed by the conservatives of his time, and you're a conservative of this time. That is critical thinking. Jesus, you want to turn this into a religion thing. God was not, in my eyes, Jesus, he was killed by people that killed by his own. It's like the same thing that is going on today. We're being killed by our own people. Doesn't matter if it comes down to fentanyl. It doesn't matter if it comes down to this bullshit ass legislation that we keep on getting every year. And it's no better. You know what I'm saying? America hasn't. That's what I saw this morning when on TI was in a debate with the woman, and they were talking about make America great again. And he was like, when has America ever been great? Has it been when we were slaves? Has it been during Jim Crow? You know, women had to fight for the vote. So when has America ever really been great? And that's what I really, really, really want people to, you know, think about. I know just coming up, and I was born in 1977. I remember when I was a kid being able to play in the streets and not worrying about idiots coming down the street driving crazy. We used to go to the park and play and not have all these freakazoids all around. And I mean, there was incidents that happened, but I'm like every week in the news, we're having a mass shooting. We're having some kind of weather incident, you know, and it's like more and more happens. And are people getting desensitized? Because that's what I really feel that it's where we've gone as citizens. People are so eager to pick up their phones and record, but not anxious to go help the next person to make sure that they're okay. That's what God was about. Love thy neighbor. And that's what we need to see. It needs to be love thy neighbor. But are we as people going to be slapped and look the other way? I don't think we should. We definitely should not be that way anymore. It shouldn't be not Malcolm, but Martin, all this, because we're getting fucked over. You see people every day getting fucked over. Portland, Chicago. I mean, there was incidents all. And what are we doing besides being loud speaking points? I know people are saying that they're getting involved, but where? Because I see people being on the wrong side of history with Jacob Frey. And I am going to, sometime this week, I'm going to talk about what happened in the Minneapolis elections. Because in my eyes, I feel like, I don't know, I'm not going to, I know Brenda Short and Laverne were supposed to, or they had some kind of press conference for today. I don't know what happened with the Minneapolis election. I've seen their reasonings behind it, because they said the last election, people were misinterpreting the data, so they chose to do it another way this year. But I do want to get into the story before we get into anything else. Is what are people going to do? You know, and that's why your insurance rates are so high in the cities. Car insurance, house insurance. Now we have to understand why. Is because this happens on a monthly basis. You're hearing a story about multiple cars, break-ins, and we have nobody to be held accountable. They're not. I don't think this year at all, just in the same in this, they have found anybody that no arrests were made in these car break-ins or so.
Minneapolis neighborhood tonight after waking up to broken glass and busted windows. A string of car break-ins left dozens of people with headaches in the Lowry Hill neighborhood. Some are now calling on city leaders to do more. Brittany Ehrman, live in the newsroom for us tonight, has the latest on the investigation. Brittany.
Well, Kirsten, residents in the area say more needs to be done to stop car break-ins. They tell us people rarely get caught, so it just keeps happening. Now, dozens of people in a Minneapolis neighborhood are stuck with the bill for new windows.
Well, at about 2 or 3 in the morning, I heard car alarms going off, so I looked outside.
And this is what he saw. Dozens of car windows smashed out in the Lowry Hill neighborhood. A trail of glass marked the path of break-ins along Fremont Avenue South.
It's sad. Just a waste. So
yeah, it's just so much trouble, right? And I gotta fix the window.
Minneapolis police responded to a property damage call around 5:45 Sunday morning. Officers found vehicles in the area with broken windows.
It was all the way down to the church, and just seeing it on both sides, every single window was busted out.
It's a troubling trend the city of Minneapolis has been seeing for months. Back in October, more than 100 vehicles were damaged across the city, with thieves snatching valuables from inside. A similar wave of break-ins hit Northeast in August, impacting hundreds of vehicles. MPD responded with an increase in patrols. MPD data shows damage to property cases are up 4% this year compared to last year.
do you want to see changes?
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, it's brazen, and it is scary because you don't know what people are going to do.
One resident tells us Uptown is more than just break-ins, and this won't run him out.
There's quality people here that really care about making Uptown a better place.
And I just checked in with MPD, and they say no one is in custody at this time. Now, MPD has told us in the past, if you witness these crimes, try to get the clothing descriptions, vehicle license plates, and a location of that crime, because it could help solve the case. I did ask MPD how they're responding to the latest break-ins. I'm still waiting on that response.
Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lord. I was waiting for some kind of response, or they're always waiting for this, they're always waiting for that. That's how it is in Minneapolis. Now, what do we need to do for 2026, right? And I wrote some stuff that I believe that Minnesotans need to be paying attention to for our next election. Uh, our whole Minnesota House of Representatives will be up, even our senators in Minnesota. So that is something that we need to pay attention to. Um, I feel like we really need to pay a lot of attention because it is going to matter. It is something that's going to be coming up, right? So one is I feel like we need to end the state tax on Social Security. Minnesota is still one of there was looking it up and researching it. There's 9 states that tax Social Security, and Minnesota is one of them, right? And I feel like, damn, why are we? That's what I don't understand about Minnesota. Like we need to figure out ways how to save money on the people that are the poorest, people that are the working class, that a lot of people aren't making, in my eyes, what I feel like a livable wage. And that's not just in Minneapolis. It's not just in St. Paul, St. Cloud, Rochester, Duluth. That's all over Minnesota, right? So I really want people to pay attention and to research and to get knowledgeable and get involved. I really do feel like if you get a group of 10, you can do a lot of damage in your BPOUs, 10 people can do a lot of damage. I will say that if you have a goal and you keep on fighting for that goal and you keep on pushing through it, I do believe that 10 people can do that, right? So another thing that I feel like we should actually be doing is to repeal the paid family and medical leave mandate. So in 2026, on January 1st, small businesses, doesn't matter how many employees you have, we have this what's called paid family and medical leave mandate. But what I want people to know is that that's actually hurting small businesses because we have to pay into this to a program. Doesn't matter if you have one employee, doesn't matter if you have 2 employees, 30, 100, 1,000. We have this program, right? And I'm not against it. I'm totally not against it. I do believe there has got to be another way, though, so that we're not damaging our small businesses, right? Because our barbershops, our daycare centers, our corner stores, our food spots, that is the backbone, and let's be honest, of the Black economy. And I just don't believe that it can just absorb another $1,000 plus per employee. They're already fighting inflation, real hikes, and staffing shortages, right? Let families decide how to handle taxes, how to handle leave, not some bureaucrat who's never had to meet payroll or run a small business on Lake Street. We don't need another state-run program. We need the freedom to build our own success. And what is wrong with that? Nothing. There shouldn't be anything wanting to be self-sufficient. There shouldn't be anything wrong with wanting to be self-sufficient. Nothing. Because what a lot of people should be learning, especially during the shutdown, is no one's coming to save us. No one's coming to save us. We have to build a coalition and do it ourselves. I will tell you right now is that when it comes to our politics in Minnesota, when it comes down to our education systems, it comes down to our judicial, they're all connected together. So if you look at how badly run the cities are when it comes to our councils, when it comes to the mayor, but then you look at our education systems, and it's shitty when it comes down to our healthcare. It's because how can our communities get better, any better, when who are supposed to be helping and running those parts of our cities, our communities, are in disarray. So how can we expect? So at the root, what I'm trying to say is that it's like a tree, right? And all these little programs are apples. So if people are biting into them apples and they're already rotten, they're already fraud, why are we continually going to these programs and continually going to disrupt or eradicate? And it's already fucked up. That's one thing I will never understand, right? Especially when it came to this last election in Minneapolis. I really didn't. When you look at the numbers, I was really disappointed. I'll be honest. And it's not just when it came to the mayor. It's not just when it comes to city council. But it's even came in the way that we promoted it. We spoke about it. How we talked about it. Because I will tell you right now is that there were so many other people running for mayor that weren't talked about. Brenda Short or Laverne Turner, and or even like, what did it say? Jazz Hampton, even Dwayne Davis, they got high votes. But then I looked at, Omar Fattah and then Jacob Fry, who actually did win the race. And it's like, how does Minneapolis expect to do better when we keep on voting for insanity? I want to be real, because isn't that the definition of insanity, is doing something over and over and over and over again? Like, when are we actually going to learn? Minneapolis has been a haven, and even the St. Paul, the Twin Cities area, been a haven for criminals, for all this bad shit. We haven't corrected it. We haven't fixed our wrongs from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, because every time a person starts talking about it, they want to demonize them. They want to make them like they're the problem. Like, so how can we expect to do better when our own people, when our own politicians and our school teachers, and nobody wants to do any better, because it's all about sweeping the wrongs under the rug. It's like, if you brought up Omar Fattah's criminal, I want to call it criminal, but his things that are in the papers, or, depending on who was talking about it, like, it was always nothing about the message. It was always about the messenger. Always, they're a Republican, they're a conservative, they're this, they're that. It was everything but the truth. It would be nothing about what the person was talking about. It was always about the person. So how are we doing any better when it's always about the messenger and never the message? Same thing with homelessness. Jacob Fry ran with that his first term. We're going to eradicate homelessness. Okay, we're in 2025. We're nowhere near it. We're nowhere near it. It's only gotten worse. So why do we keep on voting for a person that has brought our community into turmoil, into tribulations? I don't understand that. How many people, that's what I don't understand, right? Because how many stories, I won't even say stories, cases in the last 2 years, 2 or 3, and we've gotten nowhere better. Mariah Samuels, rest in peace. Allison Lucier, the guy that was shot by his neighbor in the neck. People have continually gone to MPD, and because of what kind of, where the community they were from, or what color they were, Minneapolis doesn't do anything. It's 2025, and I still see Rachel Jensen's mom post up about Vanessa, rest in peace. I see Diego's mom, parents, his people posting things. Like, we have to do something. Like, is it really okay that we are allowing all these injustices to happen and we're not even confronting them? Because a lot of it is, y'all would rather sweep the shit under the rug and just keep on going. It's the same thing. Like, they came out with 73 videos of the 646, right? That was the biggest mass arrest in Minnesota. But what they didn't talk about was they wanted to talk about Minneapolis Police, State Patrol, all this other shit. But they didn't want to talk about the people that organized that walk, organized that protest. Because I will tell you right now is that something happened. In my eyes, it was performative, because the organizers of that protest had their charges dropped before anybody went to even court yet. That's what people don't like to talk about. They don't like to talk about the surrounding factors and why it happened, or how could we have prevented it? Because I do believe that they set that in motion. They literally set that in motion, and people don't even want to talk about it. It's the same thing about with number 3 of what I feel like we need to do. We need to tear down restrictive zoning laws. Here's the truth that no one wants to say. Restrictive zoning in the Twin Cities is modern day redlining dressed up as urban planning. These laws block affordable housing, drive up rent, and keep Black families locked out of home ownership. You want to close the racial wealth gap? Start by repealing the rules that stops us from buying land, building duplexes, or owning property in our own city. Right now, home ownership sits at 28% for Black Minnesotans compared to 76% for whites. That gap didn't happen by accident. It's policy. Take down the outdated zoning barriers, and you open the door for generational wealth. You give folks a chance to stay in their neighborhoods, not get pushed out by gentrification disguised as revitalization. I don't know why. I just hate that I can't say some words. Yeah. But we can do better. And it's like a lot of people are stuck in the old rut and don't want to change anything because they don't like being unfamiliar. They don't like being new to change. They don't like being new to people's differences. And I just don't get that, because I will tell you right now is that I don't want to be dependable on the government. I don't want to be I don't want to be any of that. What's this man saying? My definition of research is watch television and then go on the internet to find information that resonates with what you already believe. That's not what I do. Who the hell watches TV to get their news anymore? Not me. I definitely sure the fuck don't. I mean, I might see the story on like Good Morning America or whatever, but I don't watch Good Morning America to get my news. I don't watch no Carson Daily or my wife does, but I don't not into all that. I sit here and especially after 9 o'clock, I go watch 5:20 in the morning. That's what I watch at 9 o'clock. That should be funny. Jeff Teague and 3 others, his brother. That's what I watch. I might watch Don Lemon, or sometimes I'll sit here and watch I watch Professor Penn. I watch Truth Hurts. I watch a whole lot of different shit. I don't sit here and watch mainstream media like that. That's not. I don't get my information from uh, mainstream media because to me it's disinformation and it's a lot of fear mongering because that's what they're literally trying to do. They're not trying to bring unity to people. They're not trying to bring people closer together. They try to make sure that we're distracted and deflected so that we can't join up uh, and get that freedom. Because that's what it comes down to. And people, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to get into it. But people should. And I don't know what it's going to take to get people involved. So I want to go into what is family paid paid family and medical leave. Is a new state mandated, state run employee benefit starting on January 1, 2026. PFMLA requires every employer in the state to offer up to 12 weeks of paid medical leave and up to 12 weeks of paid family leave, maxing out at 20 weeks total in a 52-week period for all employees. Wage replacement is partial and job protection after 90 days from the date of hire. The program will be administered by a new state agency within the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, unless an employer substitute an equivalent private plan. PFMLA is paid for through surplus funds and through payroll taxes. The current rate is 0.88%, up from the originally stated 0.7, which can be split between evenly employers and employees. Certain small employers pay a reduced payroll tax rate if they employ 30 or fewer people, and the average employee wage is less than 150% of the statewide average weekly wage. Employees will apply for and receive payments directly from the state, not from the employer. This new social insurance program, unless an employer substitute an equal private plan. So that's kind of it's kind of crazy to me, right? So let's click here to learn about equivalent private plans. Let's see.
Starting January 1st, 2026, Minnesota Paid Leave will offer payments and job protections when people need time off to care for themselves or a loved one. Employers can choose to bring these benefits to their employees with an equivalent plan. An equivalent plan can cover family leave, medical leave, or both. Equivalent plans must offer at least the same time off and benefit payments as employees would have under the state plan. Employers with an equivalent plan must continue to report wages to the state, inform their employees about paid leave, and protect employees' jobs during a qualified absence. Employers cannot charge their employees more for coverage under an equivalent plan than what they would have paid under the state plan. Visit our website to learn more.
There's a lot that people have to be ready for. Here's another one too, is understanding paid family and medical leave in Minnesota. And again, I'm not against this, but we already have too much fraud in our state agencies to be allowing them to go into a sector of an insurance that has already been, and DHS has already been fraud, Medicaid. We already know that there's been fraud in the DED. So I don't really feel comfortable. And I think a lot of people in Minnesota, because we should be fiscally responsible when it comes to the taxpayers' dollars. And I don't see this program as as a smart move when we already have so much other fraud uh, happening in Minnesota. And I do believe that that is something that doesn't matter if you're running for governor or representative or senator of Minnesota, that should be something that is the first three on your platform. It should be getting rid of the waste and fraud uh, in our state agencies, no matter if it's DHS who bills to Medicaid. Doesn't matter if it's uh, allocations to nonprofits directly from the state. I do believe that those are things we all need to look at when it comes to, doing business when it came to like the PPP loans. Like there was so much fraud in Minnesota. And how do you feel comfortable voting for a person? That's the whole thing, even when it came down to, so over the weekend, or maybe it was last weekend, Lisa DeMuth announced that she was running. Well, today she, the running mate, and that's Ryan Wilson. That makes for a very, very powerful team. I'm not saying anything bad about Ryan, but Lisa, she there's a lot of track record there. Wilson was somebody that almost beat Julie Blaha in the last election in 2022. So I do believe that they could be a powerful combination, but I just don't see how you get rid of talking about what people really want to know. I'm going to be honest. You gave up power so you could be Speaker of the House. Should we really have a governor that cares more about your political power than actually caring about the people? Because I really don't understand it. Even when it came to Kristen Robbins, she had subpoenas written up for people in December. So way before the beginning of the session, they were already ready, but gave that up so that Lisa DeMuth could be Speaker. Now, that is something that we need to have a conversation about. That is something that the people should know the truth, is that Lisa DeMuth gave up subpoena power so she could be Speaker of the House. That's not a fantasy. That's literally in their power sharing agreement. So why aren't more Minnesotans mad? Why aren't more Minnesotans asking the tough questions? Because I will tell you right now, doesn't matter if it's Dustin Grage or Michael, I can't even say his fucking last name, but be the bald-headed ass dude. Even John Justice. Niggas have already been talking about this for years. It's only because you're after the establishment ass niggas. You don't want to ask the tough questions. You don't want to sit here and know the truth. You sit here and want to run with a narrative. That's one thing that I can really say that is wrong with our GOP, whatever, MAGA, whatever the fuck you want to call it in Minnesota, Republicans. If they're looking for Trump's endorsement, that isn't going to help you in the Twin Cities. If you haven't seen the protest in Minnesota, you need to wake the fuck up. Have you not seen these No Kings protests? Like, we really should learn from these Democrats, because I will tell you right now that even though I'm not against a lot of their policies, I'm just saying that a lot of their policies, a lot of their legislation has failed us. And that's not being hateful. That's not being racist. That's not being homophobic or any of that. That's just the truth. That's the truth. If you really want to win as a Republican in Minnesota, get off the weed shit. Get off the fact that felons shouldn't be voters if they're not in prison. Leave that alone and go after the shit that matters. making sure that people that are undocumented are being taken care of before we have our own Minnesotans who are being left behind because, one, they have a criminal record, two, the color of their skin, and three, their gender. Like, let's be honest, because if you're poor, if you are a renter and not a stakeholder, they don't really give a fuck about you. Even if you are an owner, but you're speaking up for Black people, or you're speaking up for people that have dealt with a lot of injustice in their life, because there's a lot of them. It doesn't matter, and that's one thing that I'm learning. It doesn't matter about race, color. It doesn't matter about it does matter about your wealth. Because I will tell you right now is that I've seen cases in Minnesota where you've had white women that were daycare owners get ran over by county agencies. Same thing when it came to county sheriffs. They would sweep shit under the rug. If there's enough people in power to sit here, and especially if you're the sheriff, if you're a prosecutor, you can get some of this shit swept under the rug. If you know the right people. Is that how America should be? Is that democracy? Is that accountability? Is that justice? Because in my eyes, it's not. It's not anywhere near it justice. And that's the one thing that we can see here in Minnesota is there's a lot of people that are poor that get no justice. They maybe get some payments to change your life. Doesn't bring back the fact that that this won't ever happen again, that another family will have to go through this type of trauma, to go through this type of loss, because it will happen again. I don't know how many times that we've said that we want it to end, but it's only gotten worse. It hasn't gotten any better. That's the one thing that I can honestly say is that if people look back through the years, if you're a 40-year-old, I would say 40 years and older, right? You remember the 80s. Let's say, I'll go back 50s. If you're in your 50s, think back to when you were a kid. Think back to when you were be able to play stickball in the streets, or football, or hockey. Can you do that in urban areas nowadays? Because I will tell you right now is that in most streets, they either have speed bumps or people drive through those areas crazy as hell. Because I can tell you right now is that when I was a kid, that was one thing that I really honestly didn't have to worry about, was playing football in the streets with my friends and reckless drivers go through the neighborhoods, because at that time we cared about our neighbors, because we were a community. We were a village. No, we don't have that anymore. I feel like a lot of matriarchs who were the head of our households, we don't have that anymore. We have people that would rather do them than getting to know their family members. Because I will tell you right now is that in certain families, there's people that have gone on for years and years and years, and we know nothing about family history. I can say that for myself. I've had, I was told a story in high school about my own uncle, Willie Francis. I didn't even know that was my family member. I didn't know that, but when I started looking up the Francis family, I started seeing all that, the connections and the history and all the trauma, or all the things that they went through, because they lived in the South. And people have to know that the South was different from the North. So, like T.I. says, when was America ever great? Because I would really, really like to know. People say that mega. No, let's make sure that the streets are safe again, because they were at one point. They were safe, and go back through history and see all the shit all the injustices that have been done. Look, I will tell you about, look, here's one that they found 27 bodies under this man's house in Chicago or Illinois. But the police never took it seriously because it was happening to gay guys. They did the same thing what happened in Milwaukee with Jeffrey Dahmer. They didn't believe that he was actually killing people because it was gay men. Like, and I really feel like if we didn't have a stigma when it came to people's sexuality, because I'll say it again, even today, it's not safe for some people who maybe see themselves as trans or, gay people. We've gotten a lot further when it came to understanding them. But it's really fucked up. It's like so many people were dying and we could have stopped it. But because it was happening to gay people, we didn't really care. Because I'll tell you, they already had 2 strikes against them. They were gay and they were most likely poor. And then especially if you were a black man or if you were Asian, you had that race card on you. So they really didn't give a fuck. So that's what I really want people to see. You look at all these tragedies throughout the years, because I've been really into watching these. I don't know why, but I've been on a kick. I watched Alex Murdaugh murders. I've watched John Wayne Gacy, BTK killer, and it's like, damn, it's like a pattern. You're either rich, so you just get a slap on the hand. Nobody really believes it, even though all these tragedies were happening. Or, oh, he was too nice. He played the clown. What kind of fucking clown was y'all looking for? Because if people would have done their background search on John Wayne Gacy and seen that all the shit he was doing in Iowa, why he was in prison, like, I just never understood that, because I feel like a lot of lives could have been saved. Same thing with in Milwaukee with Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, if people would have spoke up, and I'm sure that there was people that did, but I think we had to be louder. We had to make our voices heard. That's how it is even today, and I still think about that because I want to get rid of police brutality. But it doesn't matter the situation. It doesn't matter if it came to Rodney King, George Floyd, Dante Wright. Doesn't matter because the same shit happens every day. Maybe not here in Minnesota, but it happens in America. How many times this year have you seen lynchings happen to young black men? And nobody even bats an eye. What's crazy is because, and I bring this up all the time, is all those bodies that were found in Mississippi behind the courthouse. And nobody even knew that they were there. We haven't got no justice for that. Shit, there hasn't been any justice. There was never no justice for when Flint, Michigan had the water crisis. Shit, even when Jackson, Mississippi had it. And now I shouldn't even say had it, because they still have it. Same thing with Flint. They don't have some of the drinking water is back, but not how it was. And like, that's because we don't care about the people. We don't care about renters. And we really need to. And that's why I look at myself as a disenfranchised voter. Because I will tell you right now is that Republican Party here in Minnesota, They don't like me. Number one, I smoke weed. They don't like weed smokers. They don't like the fact that I'm a felon, right? They don't even believe that I should be able to vote. They don't believe that I should be able to have a voice I should just be able to live in it. What if some people choose to be involved just because they have a felony? That's the only thing I really can say about the Democrats. But I won't fuck with the Democrats is because a lot of the people that have switched that way wanted change, but then they seen the money. So then they became sellouts. Because it wasn't about making sure that black people were okay. It wasn't making sure that your neighbor was all right. Because it was okay that your family could move on up to the east side. Because y'all finally got a piece of the pie. See, that's what people don't want to talk about. We're okay with pastors. There's some crazy ass shit in America, man. I've seen pastors who had parties for the new vehicles. We have people in congregations that don't even have cars, don't even have a house. But yet we have pastors. Come on, man. Y'all be pump faking for some false prophets. I don't know when we're going to see justice. And then I just believe that we need to stand up for how. Because if not, nobody's going to do it for us. I can tell you that right now. Nobody is going to do it for us because I will tell you like this, is that they gave out food stamps over the weekend. But they were asked to pay it back. Which, if Minnesota did that, we would be screwed for money because they can't pay it back. They can't pay it back. They can't go into people's EBT accounts and take the money you have left over. Even though I seen posts yesterday that were telling people to do that. There's what I would say to anybody that is saying that to take all your food stamps off, don't, because I will tell you right now, they can't go into your account and take those back. They can't. So keep those benefits on your card. I'm not saying to go spend it as you need it, but don't sit here and just take it all off and then leave your family screwed weeks later because of these grown-ass adults can't play nice. Because they don't give a fuck about you. They care if that 1% is going to be overtaxed. That's what they care about. They don't care about the cashier at Walmart. They don't care about the daycare worker. They don't care about the PCA. They don't care. And if you're poor, they really don't give a fuck because you can't fight. Here's the thing of it, is that a lot of people think that they can't fight fair. You can. You doesn't have to break laws to fight fire with fire. That's not what this, in my eyes, and I believe even in Malcolm X's, when he said fight fire with fire, it wasn't meaning to do it illegally. He was saying that they're bringing the fire. Why not bring your own? Why not bring your own? And I understood that because if you're being robbed, if you're being beat, that's where that self-defense comes in. That's where you're able to protect yourselves. That's what the Second Amendment is for, to protect your property, to protect your life, to protect your family, to protect what's yours. Because I will tell you right now, if you're not part of that 1%, that protect and serve ain't about you, player. I'm going to keep it real. That's not about you. That is nowhere near about you. And that's what makes it really sad, is that we see a lot of, bless up, we see a lot of people that will tell you to vote a certain way. But does that help you? No, it helps their benefits. It helps them. It doesn't help the people that who it should help. That's what I'll be really honest, because I was even digging through Red Wing, because they have a city council meeting today, and Bobby Christensen, I think that's her last name, is up for HRC, and I seen who she was replacing, and I'm like, damn, really? Like, come on, man. Why is like all the people that wanted to do something on HRC is no longer there? And it's like, how are they keep on allowing these? I won't even say nothing bad because I don't know the lady. I don't know who she is or anything like that. So I won't. I'm definitely not going to say anything bad. But what I will say is, like, it seems like all the people that wanted to do something in Red Wing are no longer there. And it really makes me wonder, like, the fuck is going on? And now just say that that's anywhere. That's not just Red Wing. That's, in my eyes, that's in a lot of places. Trying to figure out where I saw that. Airfield, motion to approve. Oh, here it is. Motion to appoint Bobby Christensen to the Human Rights Commission for a partial term expiring December 31st, 2026. See, and I liked this lady. I only met her, I think, once or twice, but I really did. I didn't mind her, you know. So here's Bobby's application. The city has a partnership with the Red Wing YMCA, in which the YMCA provides childcare at the facility for city board and commission members during the members' meetings. This service is provided. Would you be utilizing that? Yeah. Oops, I didn't read that. That was a question. Please briefly explain your interest in serving on this board. I was asked to serve, and since it wasn't the first time I've been asked to be on a board of this type, I looked into it. Since childhood, I've stepped up and done jobs that needed to be done. I feel I have a unique viewpoint. Given my ethnic and cultural background, I've always hated filling out paperwork because it asks for my ethnic background. The best answer is usually other. I was an Army brat and the Air Force brat, dependent. My mother is from Vermont and my dad was from South Carolina. I spent 5 years of my childhood in Greece. I don't know anything about the person. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of, I won't say kind of funny, but it was, to me, it was kind of like, why, when people that want to do change and are willing to fight that hard fight by any means necessary, they look down on those people. I don't know what happened to, I think her name was Kathy, but I do believe, like, the same thing with some other people that were, when did she put her application in? Let me see, I'll go back to it. October 17th. So that was just recent. Just recent. Says that somebody asked her, but I don't know what went on with Amber. Is she on the HRC? I'm gonna go look that up. See who their members are now. Boards and commissions, advisory, human rights. So let's see who's on there. Member roster. Kim Hudson. Is Kim still on there? I seen she was just arrested not too long ago. I got ticketed. Liz's daughter. Damn, so that's it. Skog, Joe Big Lake. There ain't much on there. God damn. Sure ain't much. See, I have 2 currencies. Oh, yeah, it's only 7 members now? Damn. I think it was more than that at one point. Yeah, so I'll tell you like this. I don't know what happened with Amber. I thought she did apply for HRC. It's kind of crazy to see that somebody else to get on there before other people who have applied. Because I remember trying to get on HRC and they were trying to drag me through the mud. Who got? Oh, Liz did. Not Liz. Gabby, she did. Gabrielle. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick. Because it was in Cannon Falls paper. That's where I look at because sometimes they don't the Cannon Falls, that's why I guess it's the Beacon. They give out more information sometimes, right? So here goes the office reports to Goodhue County. Yeah, this is where I seen Gabrielle's name. I was like, damn. Because I was actually looking for Dan Stordahl to see what happened in his little situation. And I came up to see it was a speeding or something. See, that's a probation officer too. Damn, that's crazy. No way. Wow. A fucking PO. Wow, that's crazy. Huh. That doesn't surprise me. I'm trying to see where. Oh, I've seen her name somewhere around here. Hold up. The data centers, y'all need to be looking into that at Red Wing. Pine Island. Because there could be 2 going in Goodhue. Let's see. Yeah, because yeah. All right. I thought I seen it in the Cannon Falls Beacon. I have to see if we can find it again, but yeah, she was just arrested. I won't say she was arrested, but I think she was ticketed for speeding. But I'll send it to you when I can find it. Because yeah, I thought that shit was kind of like, damn. You got to look through these sometimes to see why people went to jail or why they were in jail. Because sometimes you only get half the answer, but if you look at for their papers or their court documents, transcripts, there's usually a lot of things in there that really, in my eyes, should be shocking people to a degree. Michael Montgomery? No way. That can't be him. Damn, no, there's no way that's that Michael Montgomery. That cannot be the pastor. Damn, 1st-degree criminal damage. Wow, that can't be him. That can't be the pastor. That can't be the pastor. It can't be the pastor. Wow. That's crazy. No, I've seen it in here somewhere. I don't know how. It was in this one. I don't know. We're looking at, damn, that's kind of crazy though to see the, wow. And I'm sure people don't even really look at this, at these, I'm sure some do, but a lot of people don't. And it's crazy to see the names sometimes when you go through here, because like that's where you, like even Fillmore or another one is the Minneapolis Times. It's like, God damn, you always see these people, but that's crazy. Homeless. Yeah, that's kind of weird. People should really honestly start paying attention, because I just found a PO from Rochester, and then even the local pastor in Red Wing. That's crazy. Michael Montgomery. Crazy, 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 crazy. It's crazy how shit be supposed to be crazy as hell. Be wild. Someday I think people will get it though, when it happens to them, or they can't do anything about it, or they feel like they're being treated wrongly. Because I don't know how many times that people have written, called me, or, told me about their stories. And it's like, I got to get back to Gene today. What? Damn, so he did something to Stu's house. Damn, that's crazy. Damn. That doesn't really shock me, though. I'm going to be honest. When it came to certain people in our communities, damn, that's crazy. Okay, so he did something to Stu's house. Damn. That's kind of crazy. I hope because that's a felony offense. I will say that, and I'll have to look more into that. But I'm going to get up out of here for the day, and I'll be back tomorrow. This is G Herbal, and this is Your Love, and I will see you tomorrow.
Pull me up. Yeah, I be needing you, and I hope you needing me. I be wanting to sing to you everything you mean to me. Too much. Even though I got my flaws, hope you ain't misleading me. I can't sleep out with my dogs, but you still a dream to me. I be trying to right my wrongs, but you still be mean to me. I just want to show you the world, babe, let's check, let's get it. You gon' always be a part of me, forever. Asking where my heart at, right there where we started. Still got it. When we met, I was on the grind, I'm still at it. I've been giving this shit my mind, and all my time, I'm still snapping. I've been going since I was a kid, and all these years, I'm still rapping. I'm just trying to have my tears and face my fears, I'm still savage. Ay, started as a DM, I was reaching, but you answered. Ay, even if you didn't, I felt I need you, would've harassed you. Ay, when I got inside, stretched your spine like gymnastics. Ay, when I met your mama the first time, she called me handsome. Ay, and we go through drama all the time. Your persona, that's all mine. Call your honor if I'm lying. What up? Ay, always call you mama, but not mine. Run through commas after comma to see you shine. Ay, I be toting llamas all the time. Nigga tweaking, you won't pop it or put him under. Hit the line. Yeah. I've been doing it. First it was fuck bitches get money, I've been influenced. First it was fuck bitches get money. I'm with the killers cause it was ugly. I'm with the killers, I'm with gorillas, but they don't love me like